invite our special guest, Miss Philipa to address the audience.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, I can hear. I can hardly see. I have to say, I've addressed thousands and thousands of people and much bigger audiences than this, but I've never been so nervous as I am today. Having such an influence on such young students. So I'll start. Madam Principal, her lieutenants, teachers, students and parents, I'm absolutely delighted to be invited today as the chief guest at this amazing and awesome occasion. Today is all about excellence, and the school's motto, I found out, is arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is reached. And in this room, I can see many students who are living and breathing this motto today. As Madam Principal said, you've probably noticed I'm not Indian. Did you notice that? Is it kind of obvious? I grew up a long time ago, and I wasn't as fortunate to go to a school such as wonderful as Lotus Valley International School. And in fact, when I left school, I hardly left with any qualifications at all. And it was just really my true drive and personal ambition to be the best that I can be that got me where I am today. To tell you a little bit about me, I spent initially 24 years in the travel industry in the UK. And then the remainder of my years, 37 years in work experience, yes, I started when I was very young. In fact, I know I only look 21, but you know, we'll go with that. I spent it in the finance industry, and I started off my career because I was an extremely average student, to say the best. I started off in an admin role, making tea, coffee, and filing in a travel agency in a place called Maidstone in Kent in the UK. That's where I fell in love with travel, and my passion for travel began. And I really took that on board, and over the years I worked myself up through the ranks to actually selling holidays, which is like selling dreams. By the way, that song and dance this morning had me in tears. I was Niagara Falls down there. And then I gradually worked my way up to the fact of I was running a shop within the travel industry. I was actually then became an area manager. And then I went into the area of contact centre management for travel. And I spent many happy years doing that, as well as other roles such as training, HR, etc. And in 2004, I joined Barclays Bank, and I was running their contact centre in the northeast of England. And I was there for 2 years when I heard this rumour that there was an opportunity to come to India. And Barclays was transferring some of their work to Mumbai. Now, there wasn't a position for myself at that stage. I was too far up the ranks to be considered to be going, but I actually found out who the project manager was, and I gave him a call. I didn't know him, he didn't know me, but I basically told him and managed to convince him that he needed me in India. So I came to Mumbai and started off the Barclays process in a third-party organisation in Mumbai, and I was very fortunate enough to live there for 6 months. And then I was asked actually to go to Delhi. Barclays were closing down one of the contact centres in the UK and transferring the work to Delhi. On this note, I have to say Barclays lied to me, because I didn't end up in Delhi, I ended up in Noida. Noida is not Delhi. I just have to make that absolutely clear. Nothing against Noida, but it is not Delhi. So I came up to Delhi for what I thought was for 6 months and ended up staying a year. So after 18 months in India, my boss in the UK called me and said, you need to come home. I didn't want to go back to the UK. Unfortunately, I had a very good relationship with our CEO in India, and he asked me to stay for a year as a consultant, which meant I had to resign from my job from the UK, come and work in India for a year with no promise of any work after that year. Here I am, 14 years later, having fell in love. Thank you. Having fell in love with this most wonderful country of ours. I class it as ours now because India is definitely my home. I have travelled all over India. One of my accolades is that I've been to the Taj Mahal 15 times. I dare any of you to beat that. I bet none of you have beat that. I've travelled everywhere from the far south to the far north. And every place I went, I fell in love more and more. And my friends back in the UK, the few that I have left, most of my friends are Indian now, always say to me, describe India to me. And I say, India is like a tsunami. If you stand up against it, it will knock you flying. If you go with the flow, you will have the ride of your life. Yeah. Excellence is never an accident, as I found out on my journey. It's the result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligent direction, skillful execution, and the vision to see obstacles as opportunities. I'd like to share just a very short story with you, which I read and I thought was appropriate for today. A tourist visited a temple under construction when they came across a sculptor making an idol of a god. He watched the sculptor for a while and then he noticed a similar idol lying on the floor nearby. Surprised, he asked the sculptor, "Do you need two statues of the same idol?" "No," said the sculptor without looking up. "We only need one, but the first one was damaged in the last stages of completion." The tourist examined the idol lying on the floor and didn't find any apparent reason for the damage. "Where's the damage?" the tourist asked. "There's a scratch on the nose of the idol," said the sculptor, still busy with his work. "Where are you going to install the idol?" the tourist asked. The sculptor replied, "It will be installed on a pillar 20 feet high." "If the idol is that far up, who's going to know that there's a scratch on the nose?" the tourist asked. The sculptor stopped his work, looked at the tourist, and smiled and said, "I will know." The desire to excel is exclusive of the fact whether someone appreciates it or not. Excellence is a drive from the inside, not from the outside. It's not for someone else to notice, but for your own satisfaction and efficiency. Confucius said, "The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential, these are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence." Students, I leave you with this thought. Don't climb a mountain with an intention that the world should see you. Climb the mountain with the intention to see the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. It is our privilege to listen to your edifying words.